recent scenes have shown, and at least retold, the fact that George does indeed have a son, and he is called George Jr. He was initially mentioned when they came into the show as like, oh, you can be all about family, but where's fucking George Jr.? He talked about him with Phil in the pub for a little bit, and obviously he's a bit. I think the way it was described is he was living in Dubai, and he just, they're not on good terms. Something happened. He was a wrong un. He was dragging the family into the mud. He had to be fucking excommunicated, essentially. And when Gloria Knight died in George's arms as he wept, and she had the lovely little send-off, which was adorable yet sad, she mentioned, it's time to reconnect with George Jr. We stood by him when you didn't, all right? You can it's always... Basically, it's not worth, just living in the past, reconnect with your family. And that kind of now ends up being, who the fuck is George Jr.? It's time to theory craft. The EastEnders subreddit have done it, and it's time for us to do it. So from the profiling we've seen before, George's kid, bit of a wrong un, could be involved in drugs, lives in Dubai, and Dubai's kind of you're either rich or a criminal. No, it's not. That's not how Dubai works. But it's it's a more affluent, but still I'm pretty sure it's a third world country. Still in the United Arab Emirates, there's it's where a lot of affluent people go, and they make a shit ton of money. But I'll just read the post as well. What do we think the situation there is? Seem he'll be arriving soon, with him being mentioned a few more times this week, as it was Gloria's dying request to see George reconnect with him. I wonder if he'll show up, and if DeLassy from Bring the Drama could be playing him, as he got cast in EastEnders as a result of winning that show. I don't know what the fuck that is. Bring the Drama. It was a show hosted by Bill Bailey, and
oh yes,
he must have.
Oh yes, if you're for context, they were basically BBC students, and they were up and coming actors. Yeah. And my favourite scene, I remember watching, it's the only clip I watched. I remember it, where Bill Bailey's like, yeah, we're going to get someone big from EastEnders. Will you please welcome Natalie Cassidy? fucking sweet, because Sonia, you're expecting Phil, Steve McFadden, fucking Cat Slater, maybe Stacey Slater, Sonia with her little fucking.
She is technically an EastEnders
No, it's
legend.
just funny in retrospective. It's you're like, oh, we got you a big present, son. We got you a big present. Oh, we got you that PlayStation all one. Yeah. You're gonna be so excited when you open it. You open it, it's a Nintendo Switch, and you're like, oh, thanks. You like it, son? Oh, I love it. Yeah, well, to play Spider-Man, but yeah.
Fair enough. So let's see what people think. Someone jokes, I think there'll be an episode where they keep talking about how it's his birthday. We'll see George struggle with wanting to connect with his son, but not wanting to do anything with him. The final scene, a voice says, "Hello, Pa." The camera pans around, and it's John Altman playing George's son. It's Nasty Nick, just hello.
Hello, Dad. You know what? That's so stupid. I love it. To me, it's like when
the issue is, mate. The issue is someone just went. Someone went, Colin Salmon is 10 years younger than John Altman. But if a choice is a realistic storyline, or John Altman's George Knight's son, then I'm on board. Okay, never mind. I read it wrong. I thought it was fucking. I thought they were actually saying, you know what? I think that's a great idea. And I'm like, oh, fuck, the joke's just fucking gone. That's great comment, though. Great comment.
Hello.
But yeah, good old Midnight Mitchell, classic of the subreddit, regular character. I've not a Scooby, but I'm so curious. George is such an accepting, compassionate bloke, so it had to be something drastic. Junior is out in Dubai, so it's not like he's living some troubling. So it's not like he's living some troubling lifestyle, and Jeannie keeps in touch with him, so he's probably quite nice. I'm thinking that maybe Junior is the one that told the old Bill about whoever beat George that landed him in with a GBH charge. That would probably be something that would cause tension between them, especially if George's ability to watch the girls was called into question. Decent enough opinion. I like it. I still think he's been described as a wrong un, but obviously, like, I don't know. I assume when he resurfaces, just like the Eddie stuff has been pretty raw. I feel like they'll just kind of be this unspoken kind of George. I feel like George is a good dad to his girls, but I feel like having a son with how he was raised by Eddie is probably. He probably wasn't the best dad, and he was probably a bit too like hyper focused, and he probably didn't expect anything differently from how he was raised. He kind of thought, oh, this is normal, yeah, fuck you, George Jr., come on. I feel like being raised as a fucking junior as well. I feel like that kind of has a lot of unspoken fucking like, you better be fucking good. If you're not, you're me. You're named after me. You better be fucking sound.
I would, only I will get this reference, but I want a Cleveland Junior fucking instant to happen on EastEnders. Where for the first 3 months he's a skinny, of course, African American, and then suddenly he's just a big fat guy. Like, with no context, he's a completely different actor.
Oh wait, you're talking about the Cleveland show specifically. I was like, George or George Jr. aren't African American. Like, I'm about to fucking lose my shit.
Well, sorry, the Africans. Is even worse?
Like, just George and I assume George Jr. are like British, African, British Ghanaian, whatever the word is. But, yeah, fucking hell. It's just funny. Someone says, out in Dubai could easily be a builder working overseas. Rather than a member of the super rich. This is EastEnders, not made in Chelsea. Decent line. Wonder if he is, in fact, already in Walford and has been to the gym incognito. Might have even had a fight with George, having snuck back and not told anyone. Someone says, out in Dubai doesn't really mean much other than you found employment somewhere with barely any tax, plus it's legal to live and work in Dubai if you have a criminal past, as long as you've served your punishment and didn't commit the crime in Dubai itself. Fucking hell, we're getting straight from the tourist board of Dubai. Fucking, wow, god damn, that's the PR for Dubai.
Wait, so Ash, you're telling me he's from Dubai? He lives out in Dubai. I can only think of one man, and one man only, who's out in Dubai. Robbie fucking Jackson. Let's go.
He wasn't in Dubai, I don't think, is he?
Bollocks.
He was with OnlyFans models somewhere. It might be Dubai.
Just imagine Robbie Jackson showing up as a just
I mean, I still can't get over the fact that he got run over by a Lambo. Like, how has he done that? How has he fucking done that? Crack. He got ran over
that's why.
In a Lambo by fucking Wesley Fofana. He plays for Chelsea and the French national team. Like, what the fuck? What night out in London was he fucking having? He was having all of them in one, fucking all together. Like, all right, bit of coke, bit of weed, bit of speed, bit of fucking, bit of jaw riding, fucking footballer in there, shag his missus. Like, what the fuck was he doing that night to get run over by a Lambo? For fuck's sake!
Do you reckon? Do you reckon when they hit him, he just turned to the camera and went, "I've just hit Robbie Jackson from EastEnders"? No. No. How will it come?
Someone said someone cleared up the thing that it could be this Delassie from whatever the fuck the show was called. I wonder if Delashi had been in it yet and I missed him. He apparently is only in one episode, which perhaps makes him being George Jr. unlikely. So apparently he was already in it. So, someone says, I think that George Jr. could turn up soon. Yeah, he fucking will. Come on. He's been mentioned more than he has in the entire time. He's coming back soon enough. Let's be real. It's like even Clenshaw teased, like, in January there'll be more night faces popping up. And yeah, sure, Gloria and Eddie did then show. But, they've given George a lot. They've given Colin Salmon a lot of stuff to work with, and he seems pretty content to be here for the long haul. So I could easily see them bringing back George Jr. very soon. When the time's right, of course. Eddie said this week that George walked out. George Jr. maybe hasn't forgiven George for that, and that's why Jr. doesn't talk to him. It's just a theory, could be wrong. George meets Cindy whilst married to Sabrina, who I assume is George Jr.'s mum. They have an affair and he leaves Sabrina for Cindy. A nasty divorce ensues with Sabrina keeping full custody of George Jr. and Cindy and the girl, therefore having little to do with him as he grows up. All speculation, of course, but it would be most interesting out and explain Cindy being paranoid that George was cheating on her in the 2014 flashback. That's a pretty interesting comment, honestly. As someone who's read more into the situation than me, that's how we go to the subreddit most of the time, other than me getting angry and yelling at people. But I'm a changed man, alright? This is the new Watching Walford. And we're going to get some comments. I miss the old Watching Walford. I don't like the new Watching Walford. Someone giving their opinion on new characters being added. And it devolved into a little bit of an argument, really. Let's see the fucking source. I just wish for every new character they brought in that that forward leave. Fucking hell. The cast is getting way too big with no many superfluous. I couldn't tell you to be in what Jack and Dean's daughters are, bringing them to the show. Revy's daughter too, and Gina. I feel like a lot of these characters have gotten things to do. Like, I don't know. Some character, it's like we did a whole video where I fucking axed it 'cause it was just us ranting about like people saying characters are pointless when all characters generally serve a purpose. Obviously axed it 'cause it was just a fucking angry, shouty, fuck you, fuck me, fuck you video. But I feel like I said, most characters generally serve a purpose. Whether it's just to say, like, how much is the bread? Done, served a purpose. Whether it's they're having one storyline, then they leave. That's also a purpose. Like, not every character can have a storyline all the time. I mean, that's why everybody's, like, fucking cheering that Mick's gone, because he did have a storyline every single moment of every fucking waking episode of EastEnders. But to simply, you need these characters to exist because you'll use them at some point. Like, look, Denzel, he's done fuck all his entire time on the show. He still helped build this dynamic with Kim and Howie. Well, his dad, of course. Like, become a part of the family. He then had his relationship with Amy, which helped her in her time where she was struggling with self-harm. And now he's likely going to play probably a fairly big role in the Yolande storyline coming up. It's just, like... oh, man. But also, you can't suddenly give... You can't... with some characters, they get bedded in immediately. Some characters, you need a bit of time to adjust to. Some characters need to pay their dues before they get a big storyline, so you see what they can do. And you can see the depth in the character. It's like in Coronation Street, where a character was the most hated character for 2 years. And then she got a really big stalking storyline, and then suddenly everybody loves the character. Because she was slowly built and put in this high position with this big storyline that was going to win the awards. But then suddenly she started to go back on some of the character development. Oh, I fucking hate this character. She's fucking shit again. Like, you have to, you have to give and take with most of these characters. That character was Daisy Midgley, of course, on Coronation Street. Some people don't get pushed immediately. Gina got a lot of storylines immediately. Even George had a pretty slow start to the show. He still had a lot of big stuff, but he wouldn't be described as a main character. But just like someone responded to this essentially saying, patience, grasshopper, which is the perfect fucking... it's the perfect fucking line to say at the end of this, and it didn't get a response, so this person's been absolutely fucking wrecked. How do you come back from a patience, grasshopper? How would you even come back from that? I'd fucking just throw the phone. Fucking god damn it, he's got me. But yeah. So I hope we've done enough of imagining George Knight. I do think we'll see him sooner rather than later, and once we kind of get past George's initial grief, I feel like he'll actually try to, contact George Jr. One interesting angle they could go for it is, I know that the time's been gone and he can't exactly contact the brothers he now knows he had, but it could be interesting to see him reconnecting with his family, but still overlooking George Jr. and causing a bit of problems because of that. Would be interesting to see, but tell us what you think about a George Knight Jr. We've all said stupid things as a hot take at the time. I said George Knight Jr. was going to be the body who dies at Christmas in about fucking April when they first debuted or whatever the fuck. Oh man. We've all done it. We've all had the hot takes. All right. But yeah, solid. There we are. Thanks for watching this, everyone. We have a Discord if you want to join that. Link's in the description. Go ahead and keep watching Walford. Hope you've been enjoying the videos. Hope you've been enjoying all of the content coming out. And if you want to support us otherwise, links in the description. Like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment telling us what you think. But all in all, thank you for watching. Make sure to join us on the next one. See you then. Bye-bye.